So most people, they think that escaping wage slavery, it takes a lifetime. But I think I'm gonna do it in 2026. And here's the crazy part. For the first time in my life, I actually believe it. So this year, 2025, my side business quietly made almost as much as my full-time job, even though I only work on it during the weekends and evenings. And you would think that this kind of progress comes from luck or hustle, but I have figured out that it's actually neither one. Because the real reason I think that I'll escape wage slavery, it has nothing to do with money. It's because for the first time in my life, my work doesn't feel like work anymore. Now this year alone, I've written 3 books, I've launched a web shop, I released a course, and I started a Patreon, and I'm slowly building a small community of people on the same mission. Now, some of them are launching their own YouTube channels, some are working on digital products, and, I'm helping, I'm teaching them what I've learned from my own failures, and it's fun. It doesn't feel like work. And that's exactly why I think 2026 might finally be the year that I quit my job for good. Now, for those who don't know, my father passed away like 2 years ago, and people often assume that I'm waiting for the inheritance. But that's not why I feel confident. It's because I've realized something very important, and that is that starting a business, it's not hard, like technically speaking, because of the internet, it has made everything possible. Anyone can learn how to sell a course or build a website or create digital products. The hard part is the mental part, staying consistent when you're alone. That's the real battle. Now, when I submitted my first tax report, I got fined, and my first thought was, okay, that's it. I'm too stupid to have a business. But then I reminded myself that this is just a part of the process. You learn, you adapt, the business moves on. Now, the best thing about running your own business is that every mistake becomes experience. You don't get punished, you get smarter. If you release a course and it doesn't sell at all, you figure out why. Maybe it's the price, maybe it's the marketing, maybe the offer just isn't good enough. So you fix it, and you test again and again. And eventually, the balance between value and price, it just clicks. That's when it starts to work. It's not really magic or luck. It's just that it's iteration, and I think that's what most people miss. The first time you do accounting, it feels like climbing a mountain blindfolded, like seriously. But the 10th time, it's routine. But again, the hardest part, it isn't the work itself. It's just deciding what kind of business fits you. Now, this year, I have tested everything, funnels, social media strategies, even paid ads. I've seen how most influencers build their systems, but it doesn't feel right to me. There is too much about manipulation and not enough about meaning. If I did it just for the money, it would just feel like work again. And that's exactly why I'm trying to escape. Now, there is this wonderful book that I've mentioned over the years. Oh, and not my own. It's called Company of One by Paul Jarvis, and it's about keeping your business small so you can focus on what you actually enjoy doing. Not scaling, not hiring, not chasing investors, just building something sustainable around your passion. Now, that book, that philosophy, it just changed me because I realized that I don't want to actually run a company. I just want to make videos. I want to write, I want to connect with people. That's more than enough for me. Because to me, freedom isn't about having employees, it's about having time. By the way, if you're trying to escape wage slavery too, this channel is literally built for you. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, the most difficult part about escaping wage slavery, it isn't actually money, it's just confidence. You have to believe that you can actually do it, and that's where most people just give up. Now, I made a poll a few months ago asking where people are in their journeys, and you replied, and the responses were kind of all over the place. Some were just starting, some halfway there, some were free, and some just weren't even remotely ready to do it. And I'm saying this without judgment because I started late too. I'm 43 years old, and I felt this way for at least 20 years. So the important thing here is to understand what changed, you know? And it's simple. I found my passion. Making these videos, writing these scripts, connecting with you. This is something that I would do even if I didn't make a cent. And once I realized that, everything just became so much easier. When your business is built around something that you love, motivation, it just comes up automatically. You don't wake up dreading work, you wake up curious. And this is how I stay motivated, not by chasing freedom as some, distant dream, but by making every step toward it feel fun. So if you take your business too seriously, it becomes work again, You start feeling pressure, fear, self-doubt. But if you treat it like a video game, every challenge becomes a level that you can beat. You want to launch a product? That's a quest. You want to learn marketing? That's a skill. File taxes correctly this time? Achievement unlocked. You just have to keep playing. Now, if you compare me now to who I was at the start of 2025, I actually think that I've grown more than I have in the last 10 years combined. You see, the person I was before I started my company was filled with fear, like terrified of failure, terrified of the unknown, terrified of taxes and accounting. And now I'm just excited, Even when things go wrong, I see them as data, as feedback. Every mistake teaches me something that gets me closer to freedom. And that's why I genuinely believe that I'll escape wage slavery in 2026. Not because I'm lucky, not because I'm gonna work really hard, and certainly not because I'm waiting for some inheritance, but because I've built something that actually works, slowly, piece by piece. And most importantly, I'll say this again, I'm just having fun doing it. So I want 2026 to be the year I finally tell my boss, thank you, but I'm done. Now, it might sound dramatic, right? But for me, that moment will symbolize something much deeper than just quitting a job. It will mean that I'll finally choose life, that I stop living for weekends, that I stop trading time for money, that I finally took control. And I think we all dream of that moment, the day you walk out of the office for the last time. Not out of anger or because you were fired, but with peace, because you've built something of your own, something that reflects who you are. And that's all I want for all of you watching this. Now, if there is one piece of advice that I could give you, then it's this. Don't wait for that perfect time, just start building now, even if it's small, even if it's messy, because confidence, it doesn't come first, action does. And confidence sort of follows. By this time next year, you could be amazed by how much you've learned just by trying. So yes, I think I'll escape wage slavery in 2026, and I hope that you will too. As always, thank you for listening. Do me a favor and tap that like button to show your support. Subscribe if you're interested in more content like this. Until next time, stay hungry, relentless, and strong in your journey of escaping wage slavery. Bye.